So you join me here. I'm just started stripping down the sealer off of here. That was nice and thick, that stuff, so it was quite hard work. So I started stripping the paint off all the legs. I want to get down to bare metal. It just makes it make sure that I've got all the rot off if there is any, or any surface rust, so there's no problems in the future. So I'm just digging out some sealer. You can see in the joins that you can't get the wire wheel to, and then I'll join the primer up. I'm not going to strip all this off because the paint's actually in good condition, so I'll just sand it down and key it up. So I'm going to get on with that now. So what I've done is I took the wing off because I wanted to clean behind there, and I'm probably going to primer that up and paint it. I've stripped the inner wing up to the chassis leg, left the sealant on here and here. I was going to strip it off, but I checked it all, went over it, and it's actually pretty good. There's no rust underneath it, but there's no sealant along these parts, and you can see it corrodes a little bit. So I want to get all the sealant off here and then get back to fresh metal, and then I can make sure there's no rust in. You see I've done inside here as well, all the chassis legs, so they're totally rust free. So I wasn't planning on stripping down this inner arches and all the chassis legs right down to bare metal. I was just going to key up the paint, but as I delved into it, you could see, and you can see there, someone had been let loose with a rattle can in the past, and they've just painted, obviously you can see some layers of primer, and they've just painted over, looks like oil or silicone or whatever, and it's just terrible and pitted, so I can't leave it like that. You see all the scratch marks and everything, and I want the engine bay to be one of the best parts of the car, so that's all getting stripped back to bare metal, and any of the scratches or whatever are all going to get filled in. Right, so a day later, stripped a lot off. What I've done is I've welded any of the holes in the chassis or in the panels. You can see probably going to weld up this one as well, so it's nice and smooth. Done the same on this side. Stripped it all down, any of the bad paint, welded up all the nuts, any of the holes. I'm going to filler it so it's nice and smooth. Might do the same with the spot welds as well, just to make it that extra mile. You can see it's a lot done now. I cut off all the retaining screws for the sand deadening, and I'm going to smooth them as well. Right, so I've put a massive shift in on the car, probably put another like 8 hours in since the last clip. You can see here, smoothed all the spot wheel joints, smoothed all the inner wings, so you can see like absolutely back to bare metal now. But even tiny things like removed all the seam sealer behind the turrets themselves, so it looks a lot tidier. I was going to smooth these joins, but I'm not sure I'm going to now, so just going to get this ready for primer. You can see I've literally went over everything. Just want to get it into primer now so it doesn't get any surface rust on it. You can see at the back I've also keyed up the paint, so we could spot prime these metal parts, stop them rusting as well. So I'm going to get to taping it up now and hopefully get a bit of primer on it. Right, so just taped everything up. Everything's smoothed, every bit of seam sealer has been removed from the engine bay. All the back of the engine bay is taped up. Been a long process, but I'm happy to get in primer now. It took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but I couldn't leave bits undone and not done properly. So every time I found another little bit, I had to stop, and it would end up being another day of work. So you can see now it's had a lot of hours put into it, and now we're going to get into primer. First coat of epoxy primer. Went over the old car, as I say. Going to get to seam sealing it now, but you can see maximum protection. Every join I've put a nice thick coat on, obviously just to protect the bare metal while I get on with extra work, and then I'm going to put another few coats on as well in the future. So you can see I've done all the chassis legs all over. No bare metal left, all corrosion gone. I cannot wait to get this into a nice flame red coating all over, but a bit more protection to do. Right, so now onto the seam sealer. So I've just taped up the front section. I've already done up that left side already and done the seal. I've done that side as well. And this side was a little bit more complicated on the front, so it took me a little bit more time, but I'm just using Opel grey sealer, grey stripe. It's really good stuff, this is. And it dries pretty hard as well, so it ain't nasty and rubbery. I just finished off all the seam sealer, so all the underneath seam sealed, all the chassis legs at the back of the bulkhead, all nice and tidy. So just going to get another coat of epoxy on it now. See up here. I've done it with the tape method, so it's looks good. Don't look like the brush on, and it's going to stop the rot between the seams that the car was suffering with in the first place. So going to get another thick coat of epoxy on, and then I'm going to stick a Gravitex U-Pole stone chip over the top. I'll show you what that looks like. Well, as you see, I seam sealed it all. Now, because it's gone over 7 days for the epoxy primer, it goes rock hard. So what I've had to do is I had to go underneath again, and I've smoothed it all down, keyed it back up, like I would do on the panels on the bodywork on the outside. And that way I can put on another 2 coats of epoxy. And then I've got a special underbody protection stone chip, and I'm going to put 4 litres or so of that underneath. It's like a rubberised coating, and that should protect it. Then I'll put the top coat over the top. Right, so this is the underbody protection, the rubberised coating I'm going to use on the car. You can see I've got 6 litres of it. Underbody coating, stone chip protection, and over paintable, and it protects against corrosion just like the epoxy does. And then you can overpaint it with a base coat, and that seals it in. Well, that's the 4th coat of epoxy on there now. You can see how the seam sealer, the tape method, works really nice, blends in really good, so you can't really see the seam sealed. And now we're going to get some stone chip on her. I'm going to put a nice thick coat in. I've got 6 litres, but I probably won't use all that. So let's get it done. Right, as this stone chip is very gloopy, that's how it's supposed to be. It's like a rubberised coating. What I do is I mix it with a 10% cellulose thinner, as it's a 1K, and then I use a 2mm tip primer gun, and it sprays really nice and smooth, so I'll show you that. So it might not look it, but I've spent a good 2.5 hours under here, putting on a thick layer of the rubberised stone chip coating all over in every little crevice. I think I've put 4 coats on now, so it's a nice thick coat. You can see the dust there. I'm going to give it a rub down with some Scotch pads. So as I say, anyone that's dealt with stone chip in the past will know how hard it is to get it to go on as smooth as that, especially as thick as I've put it on. Obviously you can see how thick I've put it on because the seam sealer itself has disappeared, and you can see how nicely sealed it is now. Proper protection for years to come. Should last another 20 years at least. So let's get it in red. Right, so you do the same with this stuff as the rest of the paint. So on this base coat, it's a solid base coat, so it's not a metallic. You use 2 parts of the base coat to 1 part of the hardener. So I'll get that mixed up, I'll get this in the gun, and then put it through a straightener so you've got no nasty bits inside, and get painting. So there you have it, 3 coats of flame red paint. So this is just drying now. It's had about an hour to dry. So it's got a lovely gloss finish to it. It's going to give a good protection for many, many years. I can't wait to start putting it back together. Got a brand new heat shield for the exhaust. That's coming from Vauxhall. I picked that up in the week. And what I've done is I painted the inner chassis legs. I haven't painted the engine bay because I want to do that in the next part. I want to rub it down so it's like a mirror finish. You can see how nice it's come out, and I appreciate all the messages I get on Instagram. And if you ain't subscribed to the channel and you want to follow on with the project, subscribe, drop us a like, and join me